Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming. This is Leading Edge Creators, and that we are going to rock and rumble and vibrate and understand more of how life works today. So to begin with, any questions, comments, anything anybody wants to bring up? You guys have been doing just awesome. Dominique just landed the most amazing investor, client, referral partner that with one deal is doing about, and she authorized me to share this, but doing about 1.7 million with the first two homes this person is purchasing, and then got the idea because Raul wanted to attract an admin person who was also a referral partner and well connected, and was able to do that then. And so then Dominique said, hey, well, maybe this lady could be a referral partner. So we started working with each other, and we start understanding that, wow, we're all each other's partners, and that we can help grow. And Raul, last month alone, sold 5 homes. So congratulations to Raul and Dominique for picking up a just ideal referral partner. She also happens to be an investor in real estate. And so you made 4 offers this weekend?
It was actually 5.
5?
It was on the 6th one.
Yeah, oh my God, that's just wonderful. And so we thank you for coming all the way from Fort Worth to be with us. And today's going to be a very enlightening day for all of us. And as long as you open up your heart and mind to that you'll see it is. So we're going to talk about the subject today is the most really important subject that you can help you to understand, that will help you to allow all of your desires in. And it is the law of allowing. And so what we're going to talk about is the law of allowing, but I want you to be aware of 2 other laws that are available to you. And so we're going to first look at, so the 3 laws of manifestation. So manifestation means that, you've asked for your desires. We've been promised, ask and you shall receive. And it's this receiving part is manifestation. And sometimes we ask, or maybe all the time, or most of the time we ask and we don't get what we want. And so what has happened there? And we need to make that connection between when I ask for something and how I receive. And so by understanding these 3 laws, and you'll understand why this law of allowing is most important, that you're going to understand on how to receive more. It's all right there for you. It is waiting for you. It is waiting upon you. And that to understand what that means is what this session is about today. The first law is the law of creative or deliberate creation. So let's do deliberate creation, the law of deliberate creation. And so you are each a deliberate creator. However, sometimes you've been by default a creator. Okay, we thought about things that we don't want, and then we get them, and we say, man, I said I didn't want that, except we were thinking about that. And so that was sending a message to the universe, please make out of these, let's call them godly particles, quantum particles, that spiritual substance, okay, out there, that whatever we are thinking about is what we end up creating. And so we take this spiritual substance and we create it with our thoughts and then our feelings. And the issue has been is that our thoughts have been off target, and that's the word of sin in Christ's time was just an archery term meaning off target. Our thoughts were off target, thus our vibration, the way that we feel was off target, okay? So this law of, and let me just rewrite that, this law of deliberate creation, that you each are a deliberate creator. So it's kind of a law that's given. It was given you when you came here, is that this is how it is that I am a deliberate creator, and I in fact expand all that there is. So it's just awesome, like I am this. And so by understanding these laws, but you have to understand that's why we meet as leading edge creators, because that's what in fact all of us are. And you may say, well, hold on, I was a sinner, I did something bad, and that God, if you will, the universe doesn't look at that. It looks at right when you don't want something, or right when you've done something quote unquote bad, the opposite is known by our Creator. And so we thus expand. So, think of things that you have had, the love of your children, where that thought, that feeling has been greater than has ever been before. When, Raul, when you were in California and you were with your son, didn't you have moments there where you just went, there's just such love for my, child here that it's just tremendous. Titus called me yesterday on his new phone. So, yeah, it's great. We had a very nice conversation, but he's a little leading edge creator too, and our children are really a little bit more advanced than us, but we kind of think, oh, they need help. They don't need any help because they have the same guidance system that we do, and that guidance system is our feelings, either good feelings or bad feelings. So we're all deliberate creators. Our challenge is to make sure that what we're thinking about is what we deliberately want and not what we don't want. What pleases us, the things that please us. And so you really have to catch yourself on that. Let's see, what's a good thought? Anybody have an example where you caught yourself on a thought that just wasn't the right thought for you? Where you thought, hold on, I don't want this. Dominique, did you have something?
I guess I could say that every time the ex-husband calls, like,
yeah, the ex-husband. And so now what we do is we recognize, I am so happy for that ex-husband or whatever it was, because this is what I don't want. I kiss it, resist no evil. I love that because it helps me to understand what I do want. I want a soul partner that is kind and loving and supporting, and all the opposite of that X in your mind. So anytime that we start thinking negative thoughts about anything, we start vibrating lower and we start going into the red zone, our committee, if you will, okay? So the law of deliberate creation, you're already it. So it's a law that I need to be really aware of this, that I need to be deliberate, and I need to recognize that I am a creator. Think of all the things you've created. You've created your businesses. You've created your families. You have children. Literally, you have created just amazing, amazing things. But we take things for granted. We take for granted just the way our physical body is, that we're complaining about, oh, it's too fat, too ugly, whatever. We're saying this stuff. What are you talking about? You're magnificent. These bodies that you can, without even thinking about it, you can lift your right hand. It's an incredible thing, but we get so used to what an amazing person we are, we start looking at what we aren't, and we think something is missing. And whenever we think something is missing, we're vibrating in the wrong area, and we're vibrating to what we don't want. Okay? So the second law is the law of attraction. And this law is that whatever I think upon is going to start attracting to me similar thoughts about that subject. So it doesn't matter what subject it is. If I'm thinking, oh, I don't feel very healthy, I don't feel very good today, that you're going to get another thought, yeah, you know, my stomach isn't feeling good, I kind of have a head. You're going to get more and more thoughts about how you're not feeling good, you didn't eat well, etc., and it's going to do it. So what you want to do is be this deliberate creator of what you want. You want to start thinking, because we need to understand, and there's a great quote I have, that you can't create a new reality while you're looking at your current reality. So I can't create a new reality while I am looking at the current reality. So if you don't have enough money right now, and you're thinking about not enough money, or not enough home sales, or not enough love, or not enough happiness, that you're just going to get more of that. More of not enough. So what I need to do is I need to start thinking of the reality I want to create. I love selling 5 homes or more per month. I love having a soulmate that is kind and loving and supporting. I love having all the money for my joy and for my comfort and for all the things that I want. I have to be thinking about what will be, about my new reality that I'm creating, because if I look at my current reality, you're just going to get more of it. And it's not doing God's will. God's will is to expand all that there is. And so by looking at, hey, I'm going to expand where I am. I have stopped playing small. I'm not playing small anymore. I'm not going to be the victim anymore. I'm not going to think about poor me. I'm not going to think about the way that I was brought up. I'm not going to think about that about how they treated me, mistreated me, whatever. That if I continue to think about that, I'm just going to continue to lie in a place that we could call hell. And so I don't want to do that, okay? So the beauty of the law of attraction, it's going to work. No matter what. You can't stop this law. You can't stop either of the law. You're going to continue to have desires forever. Okay, ask. When Christ says ask, and you should ask. Well, that's what you're all about. You're about asking. You're about desires. You're about growing. That you continue to grow. And so there's nothing you can do. You're going to always be a deliberate creator. Now, deliberate on what you want or don't want. That's why we're sitting in this room right now. Because what we want to do is we want to start creating the things and demonstrating the things we want. We have become masters at creators, but most of us and most of society has created things they don't want. And then they keep on thinking about it and keep on talking about it and telling other people. As subtle as, oh, I don't have any control that, the weather is going to be hot out today. If you think it's going to be hot out today, it's going to be hot out today. That I'm working with another person that isn't in this room right now, but I told them about how I call forth a cool breeze every morning, usually about 10 o'clock in the morning after I'm done with my exercise. I'm out by my little fountains with my angels, and I call that cool breeze in, and that cool breeze comes in. So this person was sitting out in the afternoon on a hot golf course watching his daughter play golf, and he said, you know what? I want a cool breeze. I want this because I got to stop thinking about it so hot because you create more hot. So he called it cool breeze. And he said, my God, I became really comfortable out on the golf course. It's all what you think. You control everything. Every one of your experiences that you control. We just think we haven't controlled it because we've suckered for thinking that the world happens to us out there. People dictate what we do, and then that happens to me, and I'm just sitting there. That's not how it works. But we've allowed it to create that way in our lives, and so we need to look at, I create my own experience. I mean, I'm happy and attract harmonious people all the time. Why is that? Because that's what I focus on. I don't know anything. Like I heard the other day on a person said, yeah, and then they hung up the phone on me. And I thought, like, I don't think I've ever had anybody hang up the phone on me, okay? What is this? What kind of relationship? These are my partners. Everybody is my partner in this. That, this does not make sense. So you're going to always be a deliberate creator. You're going to always have the law of attraction either working for you or against you, depending on what your thoughts are. And now here's the third one that you can control, because basically your number one and your number two is going to happen to you, but three is the law of allowing. So I have the law of allowing that we need to understand, and we're going to go back to this stream down that flows, okay? And so I've used the analogy where there's just one stream that flows. It's just the good, godly stream. It's God giving its life that comes in, and it's all good. As we start having thoughts of lack, limitation, resistance, disallowing, that closes up that stream. And then in my experience, I think I see the evil and other powers, but there are no other powers. There's only one power, and there's the power of good that flows. But my disallowing thoughts have prevented it to where my life sometimes looks like, wow, there's been some bad stuff, going on. But today, we're going to look at how this stream is a river. Okay? And so I want us to imagine that your life, all of life, everything that there is, it's this powerful stream that is flowing. Okay? And I'd like you to close your eyes and just get relaxed and take a deep breath in. And imagine on this stream, and it's a powerful stream, and imagine now that you're in a small boat and you have oars. And you are hanging on tight to these oars. And you are rowing yourself upstream. Upstream, such as life is tough. I have to work hard. All of these untruths, okay? But we've been taught these since a child, that this is how life is. And we've been rowing and rowing, and things are tough, and I'm gonna get it done, and I feel tight, and I'm frustrated at times, and I keep on rowing and rowing up. And then I go over to the shore, I take a break, and I think, you know what? I'm gonna make a better, faster boat, and I'm gonna get bigger and better oars. And so you do. So you go and you get an education, and you go and you do a bunch of things that you think you have to do, and you do all this kind of stuff, and you get back in your boat, and it's a really fast boat with really good oars, and you're rowing upstream. And now I want you just to stop that struggle and just relax and let go of those oars. And let your boat turn in the direction going downstream in the flow of God in life. And you realize that upstream are none of your desires. None of your desires are on the bank going upstream. So you now relax smile, and you begin to go downstream, gently, where life is good, that people are good, the world is good, and that you flow with this good. And you have now aligned with the law of allowing. And downstream is where all your desires are, all the things you want. And that as you easily flow downstream, you can just pick your desires, building your business, having better relationships, having better health, and that it's all there for you. God has given it to you. And you have now become a master of the law of allowing. So I invite you back into the room. And how did that feel? Did you relate? Can you relate to that?
I think we can all relate to the struggle.
Yeah.
As you were saying that I have actually experienced it on a river, where you go upstream, and the difference when you finally at the start point, and then you turn the boat and just let it go. Same thing happens when you're scuba diving and you're drift diving, and you just jump off the boat and you don't have to keep track of anything. Just drift. So it's a very, very pleasurable experience.
Yeah. We were born here. We couldn't wait to come here. This is full of joy, this world. This gives us this contrast of what we don't want, so we understand what we do want, and we just love it. Yes.
Personally, I really love that, and I noticed something about you. You wear blue all the time,
Uh-huh.
and my pastor does too, Dr. Mike Murdoch. He said that was Jesus' favorite color. He always says that. But when you said that, that made me think. Do you remember those bracelets they used to have? What would Jesus do?
Yeah, yeah.
I think I'm gonna go buy me a blue bracelet.
Yeah.
So then every time I get to the point where I'm, literally creating something
Yeah.
that is off,
Right.
I always look at my arm and
Yeah.
I just just remember that flow going down, so
Oh.
it's easy.
Wow.
Versus just, because I was doing the stroke going up,
Yeah.
And then, but when I just laid everything, I noticed when I just said, okay, God got it covered, and then it just started flowing. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So I like that, and I mean, that's
Yeah.
what just came when I was like, I'm gonna give me a bracelet just so
Yeah.
I can remember it every day. Because sometimes, we get around our surroundings
Sure.
that we're not. A lot of times, people just say stuff or things just happen.
Right.
And they're like, you can hear somebody, my sister be like, oh, my life is just blah blah blah, and I'm looking at her like, okay, and you want to stay positive the whole time. So
Yeah.
I always remind, looking at like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm doing, flow. But
That's beautiful. So Dominique wants to have this blue bracelet to help her remember the blue, like the water. Just think of, that water flowing and, oh yeah. And then think also the relief. And this word is a big word that I want you to always, when you feel relief, that is you letting go of the oars. Talk about faith in God. This is the faith of God in realistic, in 2012 terms. This is the faith of God when I let go of those oars and quit thinking that I'm the one in control and that I got to do it with my analytical mind, and I let go. And what is it? Let go and let God? And that I let go of those oars. Because the amazing thing is we keep on going upstream and none of our desires are there. Not one desire. Yes.
Well, I asked God for an analogy when we were in there.
Yeah.
Talk about the river, and this is what he showed me. He says that it's resting in the grace and
favor of God.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite sayings, and I have to continually remind myself, is when I work, God rests. When I rest, God works.
Resting in the grace and favor of God.
In Hebrews, he says to labor to enter into that rest.
Yeah.
And you think, well, golly, I got to work hard to get into that rest. No, really, you don't.
Yeah.
It's just belief and trusting in God
Right.
loves you and he's taking care of everything.
Yeah. We were in a discussion a couple weeks ago, and I talk about how our angels show us the path to least resistance. And some comments were, well, that's not right. You know, that's being lazy. Okay? And you see how subtly we've been taught these things that are the opposite of the truth on how it should be. And so when we recognize that's not lazy, that's faithful. You know, that's a believer, okay? When I let go and I relax and I rest in the grace and favor of God, I mean, and that really, can you let go? Because see, what's going to happen when you let go is you're going to, because I'm telling you, most people say, well, I can't just let go. I mean, what do you want me to do? Just sit around and, you know, be in meditation, listen to Dr. Hank's meditations all day? And I say, well, that might be good for the CD sales. But, yeah, no, what happens is you automatically, when you let go, you're already a deliberate creator, okay? So you're going to have desires, and because you let go, you're going to line up with God to where you're going to have these wonderful desires. It's not going to be desires to, I want to go shoot 20 people in a movie theater, okay? You know, it's going to be good, godly, wonderful things, because remember, and wonderful things for you. You are worthy. It's all about you. You each have your own experience, and you create your own experience. So the more you thrive in this world, the more the whole world thrives. And how beautiful that is to recognize I am worthy and I need to thrive. You know, it's kind of like saying, well, there's poor people over there, so I'm going to be poor too. You know, or there's sick people over there and I'm going to get their sickness too. And you may not make that connection, but that's in essence what we're saying when we say, oh, I don't want things for myself. You know, oh, yes, you do. Because when you have things for yourself, you're helping everybody. Everybody thrives around you. So, so two things happen here. When I let go of those laws, I go back to law number one, and I become a deliberate creator that aligns up with my source. And then the second thing that happens automatically, this is how great God has it all for, we have everything we want, is that there's this law of attraction that won't just make us stagnant on, well, I want this, and then that's it. You know, that the law of attraction comes into play, and wow, you know, I want a more loving relationships, and then even more loving relationships, and I want to recognize all people as my partner. And we just get going, and we get into this place of oneness where you are attracting all these wonderful ideas, and you become a magnet and attract all of your desires. Sweet, huh? Yes.
I've actually proven that out in places where they have genius ideas like internet and stuff like that. Those people were actually in an environment to where they could go and think and meditate, and they weren't in a pressure environment where they were in a cubicle and somebody's going, "We gotta get this done. We have to know how to do this."
Yeah.
They were told, "Go rest. Go think about this and stuff like that to get those brainstorming ideas."
Yeah.
Because of that, we have iPhones, internet, iPad. I mean, that's the type of environment that creates it.
Yes. In fact, a deliberate creator is not about making things happen. And we've been all told, oh, you got to work hard and you got to do this, and you got to, get going on stuff. And it's back to Laura's comment on in businesses where they have you in a cubicle and they say, get working and look busy, or be busy, be busy, and they're being busy. Whereas in Microsoft, what they did and do is they say, let's go into a room. Let's talk about what we desire, what we're going to create, and then you each go individually anywhere you want to, and you meditate on that. And then we'll come back and we'll see what kind of thoughts you came. Because we can tap into all the knowledge that there is. But we have to be quiet and we have to get into the stream. The stream is a quiet, gentle, yet powerful stream. Okay? So, it's not about making things happen. It's about allowing things to happen. So, where are we back? The law of allowing. I don't make things happen. I identify what I want to have happen, and so I put that in a cup. I put that into a cup. So here's my cup, and my cup is any subject that I want to think about. And so I'm very deliberate on what subjects I want to think about, because otherwise I have a vast array, an endless, eternal array of subjects I can choose. I want to pick subjects upon which I want to build a happy family. I want to build deep and meaningful relationships. I want to build a good business. I want to build health. And that's my cup. And I just fill that cup up about this high. And what do I fill it with? That I fill it with good feeling thoughts about that. So, wow, I love having my business and my thriving business, and I love helping other people, and I love the money that comes in. Money is great. Money provides me freedom. Money is not the root of all evil. Another thing most of us have been taught, okay? Money is good. Money is wonderful. Money gives me more freedom. Money gives me more to be, do, and have what I want to have, more of my desires. So money is downstream. It's more things that go downstream, and we've been told, oh, it's bad, and put it on the side of the bank. And no, I want as much as that is. So I fill that cup up. And then the law of attraction takes over and starts filling in that cup with the perfect people, thoughts, circumstances, events, to where your cup will overflow. That's why Raul sold 5 homes. That's why Dominique has more has a referral partner, greater referral partner than literally millions of dollars on one person that came in. That's why Judy's working on $700,000 of properties to be sold right now. This is what happens when I become intentional. That Bradley is building an empire of a roofing company. And helps all of us, by the way. We get $250 for every referral. So it's good money, good money. So, so what an amazing thing on how this law of allowing that we need to allow it. So, any questions, comments? Yes, Laura.
Because we're so ingrained to we want to do something, and we're told from little God helps those who help themselves, and and we have to make things happen. You don't work, you don't eat. This law of allowing goes totally against what we think we should be doing. We think if we don't worry and get concerned about something, that there's something wrong with that.
Right, you better worry.
You have to worry. I'm like, it's going to happen, and everybody's like, but, and I'm like, no, it's just going to happen. I can't tell you how. It's going to happen. Yeah. And it does, and then they're like, how'd that happen? I said, I told you it was going to happen. I told you I wouldn't know that.
Yeah. Well, the miraculous things that have happened in our life as we've become deliberate creators, that there's no way we could have ever figured it out. There's no way Raul would have ever got your assistant and referral partner on how to do that. That, you would, it's just impossible. That's why, and so it's not our job. Our job is to identify what do I want, and then good feelings on why do I want that? Because I feel good, because it is good, that I help my family, I help myself, I put myself first. That's another thing. I put myself first, and we've been told just the opposite of that. If you don't put yourself first, then good luck. People are gonna, you're not gonna be happy, which means other people won't be happy, which means it's just dominoes going right down into a place we call hell. And so what do? We decide we want to live in heaven right here on earth, and the way to do that, because all heaven is this good feeling place. When you feel really good, you're living in heaven. And how do I get to feeling real good? By thinking good, positive, feeling thoughts. What is my guidance system that God has given me? My feelings. I have good feelings and I have bad feelings. And that now takes us to how we're going to understand this so that we can just use it every day in our everyday life. And this is the emotional scale of mankind. And this is still all about the law of allowing, okay? The emotional scale of mankind. And so here is the 50% mark. And so this hell that I've been referring to, the bottom is when you're feeling fear, and remember fear is false evidence appearing real. When you're feeling fear, when you feel disempowered, that is the lowest that you can be. And how many of us feel fear of, I wonder if we have enough money, that have any of you gone a day without eating? No. Any of you gone, or unless you wanted to, have any of you gone a day without, we have it all. It's just that we don't focus on it. We grab, instead of this beautiful, gold subject cup and look for the good, that we're looking for things that we don't want. And then we end up in fear and we feel disempowered. It's nothing worse than to feel disempowered, that I don't have power, because you are a powerful creator. In fact, you make the power of the stream. You make it by your desires, that increases the power. So the higher your desire, the more powerful the stream. So I want to have desires. Most people that retire die. Why is that? Their purpose is to be a deliberate creator here. And when they retire, they think their work is done, whatever. And they lose their desires, and they die. Literally, most people that retire die. That's why none of us are going to retire until we're ready to go. So, the goal isn't to retire. The goal is to just continue to have desires and have more of them, and to just go down in that oneness, that place of oneness downstream with all that there is. Okay, so this emotional scale now, that there's anger here. So notice that anger is higher than disappointment. So if you get pissed off, you're better off than where you were disempowered. Okay? I'm the victim here. And this is all the red zone activities is not the truth about you at all. Okay? You're never a victim. But you have the choice to think whatever you want to. Okay? So anger. Committee members, remember we talked about in Catch Spot treatment and that worry, complaining, blaming, excuses, yeah. Yeah, excuses. You know, I can't do that. I don't have the education, or, you know, I'm a white male. I think I'm a minority now, right? Something like that. That I love being a minority. I always wanted to be a minority. And now I am. It's tremendous. That, but whatever our excuses are, it's not true. You know, that you can't, if you look around, and what helps to support us and recognize we are this, is you just look around at other people. You know, we have a black president. Who would have thought that in 20, 30 years ago, you know? I mean, it's just amazing on the things that anybody can do and that they have. And so, and then we go to, and there's all kinds of words and feelings, okay, that we have here. But the feeling that most people are at is 44% level on the up to 100% aligned with God, that most people are in doubt. I doubt I can do that good. You know, I just love my wife Sharon, because she tells me so often about what I don't want. I say, oh, I'm going to go see, you know, Paul in Fort Worth. Oh, but there's going to be traffic. Honey, I never have traffic. You got to remember that, okay? I don't call traffic on to me. So thank you very much. That's what I don't want. And now that sharpens my desire, and I increase my flow of the river, of the stream, okay? Because I say, I love just flowing with the traffic, that not having any traffic jam or whatever, and that I love to just go wherever I want to, safely, peacefully, just flow along. I listen to music or whatever, and just enjoy myself. So most of us are sitting at doubt. And so let's see, anybody have some examples of where the doubt is? Like, oh gosh, the closing will probably be delayed. You know, you're the genie, you know. Your wish is this genie command. You got this genie inside you, and you're rubbing it with your thoughts that rub your feelings onto this genie, and the genie creates whatever you want. But most of us are thinking about what we don't want. Wow, I doubt I'll ever be able to sell $1 million home. Those lucky people over there that can sell, they must have cheated someone in order to sell $1 million homes. And so these emotions are resistance. And so when you have thoughts of resistance, resistant thoughts create these emotions that create what you don't want, and it tells you, and you have one indicator, a beautiful indicator. When I feel bad, so opposite of that, when I'm not feeling good, or that not feeling good, when I feel bad, that I recognize I'm not lined up on this subject the way that I need to line up with God. You could take any subject and start changing your feelings. Now, if you have a feeling of, let's use Dominique's ex, okay, and she's probably down here I'm really angry. Most of us, we can't jump up to the top of the emotional thing and say, I just love this guy, he's great. That we have to work our way up there. And we have to say, you know what? I'm kind of complaining, and I do blame him for stuff, and that, I don't have much faith in him, and slowly start working to where, well, I'm really happy about, the ex. He taught me so much that he taught me about what I don't want, and that now help me understand what I do want. So you have to work yourself up, and all of you have a subject where you're down here, where you're down below here, and this lowers all of you as far as your overall happiness.
I have an example.
Yes, Judy has an example. Go ahead.
Recently, we own a rent house in DeSoto, and recently the tenants moved out, and the lady who lived there was a control freak, and she had changed the door key, so I had told her, just finish up, clean up, leave the key on the counter, and then we'll come in and we'll examine it, and if you get your security back, fine. She goes, no, I need you both to come meet me here. I said, no, you don't. That's what you need to do. And so she insisted, and I thought, I am not going to put up with this. I had just recently had a client who was very demanding like that, and I thought, I'm not going through that again. I won't do it. James said, I'll go. I said, but don't talk money with her. Just go, get the key, get her out of there, right? Well, he couldn't resist. Initially, that made me unhappy, and then later I thought, it's the grace of God that I have this awesome man in my life, and so he's just shown favor to another human being.
Yeah.
That's what I arrived at after a while.
It took a while to go from the
It's
bad
that-
feelings to the
it's
good
that when you
feelings.
say most of us have to work our way up to what we do want.
Yeah.
So the next day I go to the house, it is in shambles. It is so much worse than what I had even prepared for. The dishwasher was broken, the garbage disposal was broken, the air conditioner wasn't working, the stains in the carpet were excessive. I mean, all the issues that can happen. The foundations moved, and there are gaps where there are so many things. And I spent the first couple of days cleaning, and I thought, okay, I need to get back to real estate. I don't have the time. I cannot recover this house back to normal. You see, the thing is that everything can come back to proper. It's been taken back down to a cesspool, but everything can come back to proper, so I can get a good tenant in there and have it be a money-making thing, right? But that first day or so, it was like, this is so wrong. I can't believe she conned him into, and it's all that going on. And I go, Judy, shut up. But every time I would go into another room, it would just be so in my face, and it was so insulting to have to not only have her treat us that way, but then I've got to clean up her own personal binge. And I thought, Judy, grace of God. If this were someone in your church that you loved, you'd offer to help them clean up, and you wouldn't even think any of these thoughts. I just had to
That's a
work
good
my
way.
mind through all of the things. If you had I have chosen in the past to help people who are in just, having issues. And none of that bothers me, because I'm always above all of it. But this I had to work through, right? So, and the second day I said, okay, that's it. I can clean, but I can't do all the painting, and it'll take me the rest of the month to get the house ready, and I can't give up that much time in real estate. And I thought, I don't know what the answer is. And about that time, the next door neighbor came in, and he said, I want to see the house. I'd like my sister to move next door. And I said, you told her what I wanted to pay for money? And he goes, yeah, and she can pay it. Well, I said, well, you can look through it, but I'm not giving you any promises about your sister. He goes through it. He says, I can paint. I got a spray gun. I'll do the whole house for $600. I find out later he doesn't really mean the whole house, but still, $600 was a good starting place. I'll do the carpets, and he gave me a price. I'll do the yard, and he gave me a price. And, it was like at this moment in life, I have money. God, has worked and blessed my life so that right now I have money. And it will, in fact, probably, in learning a little bit about them, help his family if I give him work. So, God, you restore back to me the things that I want.
Wow.
And I still had a lot of labor to do, because I couldn't turn around and pay someone a chunk of change to get the cleaning to the level I wanted. So I'm still there, and I'm monitoring all the other things happening. But I really saw that God had brought that person into my space, because I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I need help. I do need you to bring something. But I had gotten to that place of, okay, I'm ready to just let all this go. Now I'm looking for solutions. And the solution walks right in my front door. And he even brings me the new tenant. Now I have to still do the background check and agree on the pricing, but I don't even have to go through the angst of wondering where that's going to come from. It's already in place. We just need to finish getting the house ready. And he just called me and said, I need 2 more 5-gallon containers of paint. It's like another, nope, don't do that. You've got more money than not. Because I had almost thought, well, I could go do some of the painting. Then I don't have to whatever. He had painted the rooms I was thinking I could paint. That was my text message. I thought, okay, fine. That's not what I'm supposed to do. But here's the real thing, is that I got through all of that, and I saw God's deliverance for me on that. But the greater truth of it is this. I saw that going to get that house ready for the market, I knew exactly every single thing that would be done. And I had to march through all of those steps, and at the end of it would be done. Then I can move on, go to the next thing. And I have this whole intent to have a waterfront properties lifestyle, okay? And I've been thinking, planning, dreaming, but now I see, you know what I haven't been doing? I have not been laboring. Not like I was at that house. I thought, well, this is really an epiphany. Because I didn't want to be there, yet I had to be there to get that piece done, to get to this place I really, really wanted to be. And so when I finally got my attitude right, it's all fallen into place, and I will be here before I know it, move on, done. And I saw, you know, if I just do the same thing with all the stuff that I've written down on paper that I need to do for my next place I'm going in business, I need to, it's not like it's like I just want to fill my mind full of all of the stuff that will prepare me to be an expert in the field that I want to be an expert in. And so if I just sit down with the same discipline every single day and write the blog, write the this, and put my name out there about waterfront stuff, then God can bring me all the stuff. I'm going to be doing something during the course of the day. So do that stuff that's focused directly to my dream. Because then God can bring me the how, the people and the whatevers, but they're going to be directed to my dream, to what I do want. And I don't know if I've communicated this very well at all, but I really just saw that there's a focus that some activities require from us, and so we give it. But we need to take our focus and give it to the things we want for our life. And that's what we're really talking about endeavoring to do here. That I can, with the same discipline, take my life to the top of that scale and focus there just as easily as I've been focusing on getting this rent house ready. It's just, I didn't see the steps of it quite as clearly as I do today. Because I laid that out like I knew in every single room what needed to be done. Well, the same kind of thing here. As I allow God to feed my mind, I know everything. I need to lay that foundation, and then I get it clean, and I get it set up, and I get this, and it's all easy. Because I know how to do that too. I just have to get to the kitten and not be disrupted any longer by other things.
Yeah,
Very good.
beautiful, beautiful. So looking at that, so there was, you know, doubt with other people, that there were a lot of emotions, worry, angry at these people, and so you're down there. Whenever you're there, from that point, if you start to try to figure out how to do it, you're never going to be happy. This is an easy life, and this is the contrast to what we've been taught also. So above here, and where we're going, is that when we go from doubt to belief, that this is in the green zone, we take the leap of faith, which in our analogy today is letting go of the oars. So when I let go of those oars, and I say, you know what, I have faith in God. God's going to answer this problem of what happened to my rental property, okay? And I'm going to have belief, and that's going to give me, and I'm going to have positive expectation. And what do I have positive expectation of? Everything from I know it's getting better and better. I know my life is getting better. I know my business is getting better. I know I'm getting better. I know my relationships are getting better. I know that my health is getting better. That the more that you think about those subjects and put good feeling thoughts of it, the more that you're going to start flowing with that stream and where all of your desires are. And so up at the top, you can say God equals source, equals when I have gratitude, when I am in a state of appreciation, when I am in a state of allowing. And so thus, this whole area above the 50% line is when you have these feelings, you are in the midst of the law of allowing. There is only good in this life. We keep on being told, we were told, oh, watch out for the trash, as little children, watch out for the trash, watch out for this. And so we think, wow, we got to have our defenses up. Let's see, which one are you looking at? So it's God, source, gratitude, appreciation, allowing. When you're in those states of emotion, that you then are in the state of allowing, and thus you're in the stream and you're going downstream where all your desires are. And you will have all the perfect people, the person that comes in and says, hey, I'll fix up the place. Hey, I have a renter for you. The same person. Who could have imagined that? It just doesn't happen. But that's why we're above averages. When you live here, you're above averages. You're above, I don't care if the odds of winning the lottery are 1 in 172 million, there's the one. And you're it. Okay, and when you get to a point where you believe it, and you believe in you, and that you're worthy, and you were born worthy, that when you believe that, and that it will come true, whatever it is, it's all there for you. It doesn't take away from anyone. Whatever your desire is, Source makes more of whatever that desire is. More happiness, more money, more whatever. So you're not taking away, you have your own experience with your Source, and that your Source and you are co-creating all that you want. Doesn't take away from anyone, it just adds to. Look at this world, and we have more millionaires, we have more billionaires, we have more plumbing, electricity around the world, etc. It's just getting better and better and better. Now you can listen and turn on some TV and people can tell it's getting worse and worse, and if you want to go down there, then hey, yeah, I really like playing down here, that, I feel bad, and yeah, life's tough, and, I got to work hard, and, poor me and the victim, and if you want to play in there, you can, and most of TV, most of the outside world is living right here, and they're going to talk to you about how terrible the weather is, and how terrible the politicians are, and how terrible everything is, and I don't care. It's not any of my business. What my business is what my desires are, and that I just want to feel good. So when you feel relief, that is like a magical word. When we walked in here and Raul sat down and he just closed his eyes, he took a deep breath in, and he just went, oh. And I could feel it in the room, just relief. And that goodness. And when you do that, just feel that relief sweep through you. It's your Source sweeping through you. It's the energy that makes worlds that's flowing through you. And you control that energy with your thought. You are these marvelous creators that with your thought you immediately create. And you know what you create? You create your emotions. And those emotions are a vibration that communicates to Source what you desire. And as you think and you feel good, you know you are vibrating to what your desires are and what your Source's, God's desires are. And so what a beautiful, beautiful life this is, that I got it all. All I have to do is allow it. Let go of those oars and start going downstream. So that's why Joy Shop, first thing in the morning, is it's so critical, because it starts you out right here. And so if you start your day out here, you're going to start seeing that things just keep on flowing better and better and better. It's called 15 minutes to your success. You can have anything you want, and all you need is 15 minutes. Now, why meditation? So Joy Shop is basically guiding your thoughts to positive, good feeling thoughts. These are generated with your good feeling thoughts. And so I remember last night I said something to Sharon, or Sharon goes, oh gosh, I just bought a brand new, Mercedes, and I wonder if in 3 years I'll be able to afford another new one. And I go, what are you talking about, And she goes, what do you mean? What do you mean? And I said, what do you mean you're worried about? What are you being worried for? Worried. This is down here. You just got a brand new Mercedes, Mercedes-Benz. And then, you're worried about in 3 years from now if you're going to be able to get another new one. And so then she goes, and I said, honey, because you're talking about worried here, okay? And you're thinking, you're creating hell 3 years from now about, wow, I won't be able to have enough money to buy a new Mercedes, And I said, why would you do that? Oh, it's my dad and my upbringing. So then I go, so now, hey, she worked her way from worry to blame. And I said, honey, you're just living in hell, honey. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, everything's just great, and I'm real happy, and I'm not thinking about even a second ahead of me. I'm just thinking right now, I'm feeling good, and life is good, just wonderful, and I'm sitting right here. And it becomes so obvious with other people then, and when they're here that, you say, oh boy, I'm not like that. Well, just, take a look at your examination, your thoughts, and you might be there once in a while, okay? And it's everything is easy. You got to just be thinking about, this is easy. I'm just going to flow through this day. I don't have to be so tense and uptight. I don't have to have the plan on how I get to here and all these steps because that's not my job. I just want to know where I want to go, and then God will give me all the answers on how to get there. But I got to let go of those oars. You keep on hanging on to those oars, you're going upstream, and you're going to struggle, and it's going to be tough, and you're going to be disappointed. There is no disappointment downstream. That nothing is disappointment. Anything that happens in my life that I look at, I go, oh, that's just great. Like, with Sharon doing that, I go, when she says that, so I go, this is just great, because this is for sure what I don't want to think like, how I don't want to think this way. And I just love Sharon because that helps me understand what I do want, And so life is good. And that we are meant to be here to create, to have our desires fulfilled. There's nothing more than your source wants to do than to have your desires fulfilled. So, the law of allowing, and that's really the only thing that if you leave here today and just think, you know what, I'm going to allow life. I'm going to allow me to enjoy myself. I give myself permission to love myself. I give my permission to give up the struggle. I give myself permission to enjoy life, to be joyful. And I give myself permission to be free. No circumstance, it doesn't matter where you are. Physically, you can overcome anything. But don't be looking, if you think something's missing, like, oh, I'm not quite at the weight that I wanted, so I'm missing that low weight. Whenever you're feeling those thoughts missing, vibrates bad. What I do is I just love the fact that I think about what I want and then I get it. And it's not your choice on when it is, how it is, but only your choice of knowing it's done. It's a positive expectation that I know that I'm building my business. I'm building an empire. I know that I'm building deep and meaningful relationships. I know that I'm building the life that I want. Because it's an inside job. It's an inside job. I did another good quote. Yeah, I don't make things happen. I decide what things happen. So I don't make things happen. That's upstream. Downstream, I decide what happens. and then God will make it happen. And thus, the answer to all of our prayers, and ask and you shall receive. And so it is. You just ask. You don't determine how it's done. Questions, comments? I had written, I think most of you, on that Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, that he talks about the hidden secret, and he really never says what the hidden secret is per se. And so I decided I needed to write a book, Think, Feel, and Grow Rich, because these vibrations that's how we communicate to our source, is through our vibrations, through our emotions, our feelings. That's a vibration that's sent out. God doesn't understand English or Spanish or any other language, and it's the most effective means of communication is this feeling. And so understand that feeling there's nothing greater for communication than on the feeling. Like when you feel something, sometimes words can't describe it. Well, then you know that your essence, your source is involved in that. And so I write this book this summer, Think, Feel, and Grow Rich. And because I said Napoleon Hill forgot vibration. And then about a week later, after I finished the book on my birthday, July 16th, and then about a week later, I find an original transcript of Napoleon Hill's, and he had listed, I think, 37 times the word vibration, but the editors edited it out because it wouldn't be accepted, okay? And those people that are close to Spirit and I have that direct connection and pure connection with Spirit, that most people that do have that, there's not a lot of people because they don't really search for that and ask for that they want worldly stuff more than the spiritual. And those that have it usually don't tell other people. And the reason why is you get crucified when you start telling people that. Christ is a great example. And so it's time for us all to start acting big, and that it's your responsibility too to share this with your loved ones, to share this with other people, that it's about your vibration, that we're going to talk about it. It's about feelings. We've been told don't have anything about your feelings, don't say anything about your feelings. No, your feelings are critical. They're the essence of who you are. And that you have 5 senses, okay? Sight, smell, hearing, touch. That the 6th sense is the most important one. And that's your feelings, the 6th sense of your feelings and your direct communication and connection and alignment with God. And as you move up with your good feeling thoughts to this point, that you are moving up and you're aligning to God, because God feels good. God is that good feeling. And so you want to get and align. You continue to expand every day on the things you desire, but because we resist, and it's too good to be true and all this other stuff, I got to work hard because I resist and I'm going upstream, I don't match up who I've become. And so it's time to be authentic and say who you really are and be who you really are and love yourself. And to go after your desires and know that all things are possible and to start playing big. And all of us are now called upon to play big. There's a new consciousness in this world. And it's a consciousness that is enlightened and at one with all that there is. And that your leading edge creators that are doing it, that you're important. You make a big difference. You're important. You're a big deal. Each one of you are a big deal in the plan that God has of expanding all there is. So know you're a big deal and you're loved and supported. Should we do a meditation? And the meditation provides relief for us and puts us in a state where we let go of those thoughts and just start thinking about letting those thoughts just flow off of you, those thoughts of resistance. And let us get into a state of allowing. So close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Deep breathing is one of the best ways to connect with your essence, and that your breath, it's in the Bible called spirit. And so honor your spirit and your breath, and remember how to breathe. And the real way to breathe is nice, deep breaths in, and breathing in, allowing. And then as you breathe out any resistance, and then think of the word relief and the feeling of relief. Let's start from the bottom of our feet and just relax your feet and work up and relax your ankles, and your calves, and your knees, and your thighs, your waist, and just relax your stomach, all of your organs, just relax. Be so grateful for them. You're an amazing, amazing, incredible being, both physical and far more non-physical. And you have created yourself, co-created yourself into this existence of this human body. And be grateful and thankful to each one of your cells. Just relax them, honor them, love them, be grateful. The state of being grateful is a state of allowing, alignment. And then work up and go to your heart and open up your heart. Just ask for your heart to open now. You don't have to defend anything. No one can hurt you. Let down your guard. That little girl inside you, that little boy, just love them for all the different lives you've had in this lifetime, from a little girl or boy, and you've been hurt, and just take them, cuddle them, and love them. Open up your heart. Let down your defenses. There's nothing to defend. Open your heart to love, and to God, to yourself, and to each other. Oh, it feels so good. Look at that scared little young man or young woman that used to be you, and comfort them. I had a soldier when I was 17 years old. I went into the Army, and I had a soldier that was standing attention for years and years in front of my heart. And each one of you have a soldier there too. You can now say, at ease. Let that soldier relax into your heart. Give thanks to that soldier for protecting you, but there's no need any longer. That you recognize that you are free. No one can harm you. You have eternal life. You're made out of love. You are love. And you have come to a perfect place right now where you are smiled upon, are loved. And you have come to exactly where you and your source, God, have wanted you. There are no regrets, nothing to regret. There is no one, no thing that is holding you down. No one is condemning you. No thing is. And you are loved, and you are only being loved and supported. So take those restrictive thoughts and move now those thoughts to allowing thoughts, allowing as you put yourself into the stream of God. Immerse yourself in that healing water. Let that healing water pour into every one of your pores. Go through your entire body. Relaxing your brain. Relaxing now your mind. And becoming easy with relief. Feel relief sweep through you. You are loved beyond words. And now there's a beautiful blanket, a warm blanket. It's coming to wrap you in worthiness and feel your worthiness. How you're a child of God, made in the image and likeness of God. That you now allow the full power, the full love of the stream of God. And you flow with life now. You flow at the speed of life, gently, gracefully. Going downstream. And just look at the side of the banks and see all your desires there. Such a joyful feeling, knowing that you're free. Knowing that all you have to do is ask and then allow it in. It's a magnificent blue color, the stream of life. It's that pure, glistening water. And from now on, when you see blue, you're going to remember to flow with life, to align yourself with your source, and how easy it is, and what relief it feels. And you are now caught up with who you really are. And it feels so good. And we are grateful for knowing these truths, for taking us away from bondage and the struggle, setting us free. And we now go out today and become the deliberate creators that we were born to be. It's a beautiful playground, this world, and we shall play and skip and smile and laugh and hug and kiss. Life is joyful. And we are now living life the way God intended us to do so. As we refresh ourselves, we're born again to see the truth of who we are. And we focus on the reality of what will be, of our desires coming true, and then more desires being birthed into life because that's who we are. So we take our thoughts, birth it into our vibration, and then birth it into our experience. And we expand all that is. You are healthy, you are wealthy, you are abundant, you are appreciation, you are gratitude, and you are love. And we flow in the stream. Understanding the law of being a delivered creator, understanding the law of attraction, and now understanding how all we need to do is allow it in, let go of the oars, and go with the flow of all that is. And we give much thanks for this. We are grateful and stand in a state of appreciation. Amen. And I invite you back into the room. Any final comments from anyone? Was that beautiful? I love those smiles. Life is grand, huh? So let's go out and enjoy it. Love you guys.